Episode 6. Here we go. So we're going to hop forward, but we'll also hop backwards real quick at the beginning of this video for some life events that I'll share with you guys a little bit later. We're gonna jump through the last bit of beans there and swing into corn. There's a couple of things that we'll catch you up on. We finish up, you'll see it. So these are the best clips from the part before we jump into harvesting my farm for the year and share all that stuff with you. So episode 6, don't forget thumbs up. Let's get to work. Another thing about the derecho, tree limbs along the field. Yeah. The way I see it when it comes to cutting tree limbs that have fallen into your crop and you don't have the option of skid steering them off is kind of like finding the right tool for the job, or just using whatever you have kind of in your hands. Where I'm the find the right type of tool guy, you either have the option of cutting the sticks into just barely manageable, like that you can heave and carry size, which strains you, but you do less trips, so it's like heavier weight, less reps. Or cutting it into smaller manageable size pieces and carrying them all over the place for more reps, lower weight, more reps. I am definitely the heavier weight, less reps type of guy. We have gotten moved to the pumpkin patch, if you can hear me with a sucker in my mouth. Andrew and I took the 9670 into deer and got a box of sickle sections because my Christmas tree harvesting that I was doing last night in the CRP field, the old CRP field,
it was hard on
did some teeth. We're harvesting a corn maze today, which will be interesting.
I'm really convinced it's going to be amazing corn.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good corn too. And the beans, and yes, so sickle sections. You guys have seen this, Bill?
Did you get it though? The amazing corn.
The amazing corn.
Amazing.
We I feel like I think I've made that joke like 700 times.
I know, but
I don't know if I've ever made it on YouTube. I just made it. People come out and they go, "That's pretty nice corn." I said, "Yeah, it's pretty amazing."
Yeah, I just like to take this opportunity and tell you all that Ben is outstanding in his field. Well, technically, he's sitting in it right now. Anyway, I'm standing in his field. I'm outstanding in Ben's field. I just walked through most of it.
I'm thinking I might try and brush cut it. I think that's a candidate for getting some pipe into it. Yeah, getting rid of it.
Down about even with that cattle water, I saw like a steel post or a steel bar sticking up.
I think there's a waterer there.
Okay, that's the only thing I saw.
You ought to go kick. We ought to kick around there and see if the waterer's any. I doubt it's any good.
Yeah, that's rotten. At least the one up by the cement or whatever. The pole is rotten.
Yeah, there's one by the pole. Yeah. It's just a water. There's not a well there, is there? Did you see?
I don't think it's a well, but I didn't really look too hard.
This is some tall corn. People commented on that all year, going through the maze about how tall the corn was, and it was tall. I think it was late planted, but people really liked it because it made it hard to get through the maze, or hard. The maze was not hard. It made it like you couldn't see through the corn the way that we did it, if that makes sense. So they liked that aspect. Pretty cool. So you want to know what it's like harvesting a corn maze? It's like pretty much going through the end rows, except for maybe worse. It's like gooseneck corn. It's very similar to gooseneck corn. There's no rows, you just kind of hopefully letting it flow in. Yield wise, probably 30 bushels down, be my guess. But yeah, probably 30 bushels down. But there's also like 3 rows missing in the past. But sometimes you can kind of find a row, and if you can keep one of your snouts in that row, it feeds quite a bit better. And I'm also only running that side because I didn't film it and now it's so dark in here you can't see me. I forgot a wooden sign and I combined a wooden sign, so hopefully that's the last thing I find in here. I remember that there's a bridge here, so as long as I don't combine my bridge, I'm doing good. So it's the next day here for us, and apparently I didn't get a new memory card because this one's got 44 minutes left on it, so that is what it is. Made it through Allerton's line last night after Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift infiltrated my social media feeds. I just couldn't shake it off. Yeah, man, this is kind of honey to both hands. I gotta say, it was not my best field of corn that I've ever grown. Got a little weedier than I wanted it to be, and got kind of some escapes on me. I don't think I'm gonna break my records here on my plot, but I don't even know if we'll get it to it today because we were completely plugged up with corn from yesterday. And Andrew and Dad are taking trucks, and we still got another truck full, but we're trying to get set up so I could maybe put some corn into a bin, possibly get started on harvest at least. So we'll see what happens here today. All right, here we go, plot day. Colt and I got just a little bit of corn out last night just to take the end rows off. So we are harvesting my farm, which the way it just shook out this year that basically my farm's the last farm, well, it was about the last farm planted of corn. Other than the pumpkin patch, it might have been the last farm planted of corn. So it's the last farm harvested this year. We gotta get the plot out and then see if any of my hard work on improving this farm is gonna pay off. I'd really like to see 200 bushel corn here for an average with the work. Am I gonna make it this year? I kind of doubt it, but it won't be like 2 years ago when I was seeing 280 bushel corn on this farm. And for those who don't know, this is a farm, I wish I knew exactly, I should know exactly. My guess is this farm would probably score out at probably a 48 CSR2, maybe a 50. So, but it's got tile under probably a third of it right now. So all the spots that need tile so far have been tiled. So, and I've been working heavily on the fertility, which all this stems back to basically one of my first videos I've ever done on YouTube. Which is where my first year owning this farm and farming this farm, and it got a lot of washes on it, and it got, you know, big rains and flooded out crops, and basically from that point on it just vowed that I wasn't going to let that ever happen again, and been on the journey ever since. I think that this is probably my this is probably my 4th crop with this farm as owning it, you know. I'm not sure exactly, but Wayne will get in here at some point today, and probably after the plot's out, and ride along with me. We'll get my favorite photo of the year, but it's always fun to see the benchmark of the progress on this farm. Improvement wise, I've row crop 50-ish acres here, give or take, probably 53 this year since I got corn behind the shop where there's usually some hay field there. Improvement wise, I've probably improved, I don't know, I probably have done $25,000, $30,000 worth of tile work, and probably another 5 to 10 worth of dirt work. So probably in the neighborhood of about $40,000 worth of improvements into this farm. We're getting there. It's going to be about $1,000 or more an acre to get the ground into the drainage shape that it should be. So that's why we want to see good corn. Got the bills to pay.
Welcome to the grain cart tractor with yours truly. I gotta say, today is the last day, hopefully, we're planning on this kind of being the last day, pending some beans, which will be in another video, which you guys, I think, will probably enjoy the process of that. But this is it. We're here. We're on the last little hoorah, final push, doing some corn today. And as not a farmer, I gotta say, pretty pumped it's over. What I learned from my first actual harvest, you could say, I mean, I've helped a very small amount with a few random people, you know, friends or something like that, just on a day that I had off or something like that. But yeah, the whole process, what I learned is you're always broke down. When you're not broke down, you're working on being broke down. And if you're not broke down or being broke down, something else ain't working. So it's a process. It's a real thing. And what I also learned from sitting in this grain cart is a grain cart operator needs to be I don't know what to say here. You know, I would like to think that a grain cart operator could probably qualify as one of the most talented people probably in any profession, let alone farming, you know, but farming for sure. Because basically I feel like the position here is reading minds. You have to be able to read minds. You have to be able to hear just absolute muffles on a radio, and you're supposed to translate that into English so that you're in the right spot at the right time. And just be prepared that it's your fault all the time. You know, it's like dump a little corn on the ground somehow, some way. Like, say for instance, there's a hole in the bottom of the grain cart. If you didn't see that, look it up. It's in a video. I'm not sure which one, but hole in the bottom of the grain cart, my fault, I'm sure. And you know, every once in a while combine had to sit for about 2 seconds, so until I got to them, because here in the southern Iowa region of America, it's not smooth. We're in highly erodible soil, and all the things that go with that. So, you know, going at the expected speed of Mach Jesus across the field, bouncing your teeth off the steering wheel, you know, it's like, it's just, you know, it's just part of the job. But I gotta say, out of everyone doing everything, I don't like to, you know, brag, but I think I was kind of the glue to this operation. And I feel really proud that I could that I could do that for everybody.
Hey, it's a good day in the southern IA. Sun's out, the wind's out too, but we can manage that hopefully. We're picking the last field of corn down here, and I'm having to scale it, run the trucks over the scale at the local rock quarry. Had a little bit of an incident here last year. Their scales got sides on it and they seem extra narrow. Well, let's just say the Volvo's missing a step on the passenger side. At least it wasn't the driver's side. But yeah, I'll give you a shot of that here in a second. Yeah, little narrow scales, PTSD problem. This is my second load. The first one this morning, probably would have ripped it off again. Living and learning. That is what's supposed to be over here on this side. Big step now. Yeah, that's my bad. But hey, we reduced the weight so we can haul more legally. Just proves I'm human. What do you know?
I don't recommend this, but I've got to go get this bin to top off early or easy. But I got Colt outside with this phone. Yeah, shut down the auger for me. Yeah, so I can crawl up there without getting a whole bunch of corn down my shirt. Yep, you'll be good. You're good. Okay. I got it leveled out, so it should, the rest of it will go in there pretty decently. Tastes like cornstarch. We had to move Ben here, get Andrew set up, as we take out the plot. Plot's about out, but what I talk about, so plots are fun to harvest. Because you always get to learn something and see something, see maybe what the best hybrid was for the year. Typically plots take you twice as long or almost 3 times as long to farm that acre than you went without it, but you know, they're worth it a lot of the times. Typically what I look for obviously is yield in the hybrids. This year they're all champion hybrids in the plot. Went from 110 to 116 day hybrids. We got a new Power Core Enlist hybrid that we're looking at, which actually allows you, I think they put Herculex 1 as the male plant, so some of this might be off just a little bit, but don't quote me on it. But I believe the Herculex one becomes a male plant, which gives you some like above ground protection that a VT2 plant doesn't have, along with giving you the ability to spray Liberty on it and 2,4-D Colex, so Enlist. I think that's why I think they're calling it Power Core Enlist. And then also another grass killer, which is you can use for like killing grass or volunteer corn. So that looked like a pretty nice hybrid too. So those are the things that I kind of look at, is the newer hybrids especially. And then I also look for, like this year, it's pretty nice to see late season plant health. Is that plant going to stand for us? That's kind of what I look at. Plus, if you pick the right hybrid this year. So yield data for you guys. So I don't know what I consider that I could learn from this year's plot. The best hybrid was actually Smart Stacks, 112-day Smart Stacks. I think it was probably in the best strip on the farm. It was close to a terrace on the high side, so it would have held a little bit more water, had a little more sunlight. So it could be one of the best strips that we've got, you know, for test wise there. But it actually came in at 239.7 bushels, so dang good corn for being in a drought. And then 61A22 of ET2 corn, it had a really good showing this year. It was actually my test strip, so it got duplicated multiple times throughout the actual plot. It ended up like basically taking second, third. It hung out there at that 220 bushels per acre. Some of it got pretty close to 230, but a lot of my hybrids this year were ranking in between the, you know, the best, like I just talked about, was 239, and my lowest was 199 bushels to the acre. That one I would almost probably, I think I had a sprayer tracker or something like that taking out one of those rows, so that might be a little bit of omitting, but pretty much that did really well. And what we'll talk about here is, I don't talk about it later on, is even in the drought year we did good. I am happy with how things are progressing here on this farm. Yield wise this year we came in at 191-ish bushels. It's going to be really close to my final. It might be close to like 193, but it's right now, I think simple math is 191, but dang good corn for a drought and on weaker ground. So that improvement right there, putting that stuff in the ground, has been helping. So let's hop back in the combine. So the plot's out, and I probably just got done segueing to what the yields were on it. But we're preparing for my favorite photo of the year. We've got the man. He's gonna come right in the combine for a little bit. Bandit! Come on. Come here. Come on. Sit. I gotta pick you up. Oh! Sit. Look at the camera. Weirdo. Smile, eh?
Got it?
I got some.
I think you got it close. There we go. All right, let's go combine some corn. How's it do? It says 161 right now, so I think that makes it plus 20 and a half. About 190 or so right now would be my guess. Okay. This is about where we're at. So I don't know if it'll hold it or not. I've gotten a lot of the good parts out. We might end up closer to like 185 or so. I don't know. I still haven't gotten the corn out where the deer did all that damage. So we're gonna have to see if we can get that out or not. People on the internet have asked about you this late this year, since they haven't seen you very much, because I was doing all that pumpkin patch building. Yeah. They're wondering where you're at. I had to tell them you're out flirting with all the ladies.
You did. You did. They don't want an old man.
Yeah.
They want a young man.
The corn's down a little bit. Not bad. I got a feeling back there where the deer got to, it's going to be real bad.
Oh, it is.
You know, you're the one that's been mowing mine all year, so you're the one that knows. There's been better corn out here, Wayne. That's still probably 200 bushel corn or better. But the monitor's not calibrated, so it's been running about 24% low.
Brought me stamps.
Nobody
20.
did?
20. I just, yeah.
Were they in your mailbox?
Yeah.
The mailman did. It's not feed.
Ooh.
All the tops are just piling up. Pain in the butt.
Come on.
Sometimes it goes, sometimes it doesn't. Let's see if we can get it to push in. Come on, feed.
Come on. Come on.
It's always something.
That's farming for you.
Why it's not.
I know that. Come on. You're going. You're going.
It's through for now. It'll be back there. I don't think there's going to be much corn in this area. The deer and the raccoons had fun back here. Ain't much left, huh? That's the wildlife tax right there.
Your last piece.
Last the corn, yeah. I got 20 acres of beans left to have to do. Spilling off the side. And off the side. That's a little more wildlife tax. I don't know, some crazy dude mows all these hills. This is probably what your corn crop looked like when you were farming, wasn't it? Kind of steep down that way. So that's kind of steep.
Yeah.
You know how many people?
And I mow it.
You know how many people tell me I can't believe he mows that hill?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. People are like, he mows that hill. It's like, yeah. Well, he doesn't. The mower mows it. He just rides the mower. Tell him I'm pretty sure he's half billy goat. Or mountain goat. Billy goat, mountain goat. Better stop on. I won't flip over. Just lean.
Yeah. Better here.
Let's see what it gets to. This is
I go
So here's the bad news I got to share with you guys. A little over a week ago from when this video is posted is we lost Wayne. So it's been a hard week, 10 days. Not something that, you know, I was ready for, or Molly was ready for, or, you know, but he's just about 90, and he lived a good life. He did. And but still, that doesn't make it easier, you know. He was lucky he got a pass in his home here. I just didn't see it coming, you know. So so I felt like I should share that with you guys. Some of you that have been watching the channel for a long time, you know, you've seen Wayne in my videos for ever and ever. Everybody always thinks that he's my grandpa. Wayne was not my grandpa, even though he was family. Wayne, you could say I owe a lot to Wayne. Wayne's actually probably the reason that I'm still farming, if that makes sense. He's the one that gave me like a real fighting chance in a lot of ways. So I met Wayne 10 years. We've known each other for 10 years. And he, like I said, he was about 90. And so I was only a part of his life for like 8% of his life. And I'm gonna be 32, I think. And so 10 years, you know, he's been a major part of my, you know, adult life. And we met 10 years ago. Actually, I remember exactly where we met. It was right here, actually, on the farm. He was mowing grass or whatever, and we went turtle trapping one day and turtle trapped the ponds down there. Anyways, I stopped back later on and just to report, like, hey, we didn't catch any turtles, and he said that we probably won't because somebody else had already trapped the ponds. But he was also saying, you know, I'm gonna be 80 years old, you know. So anyways, I stepped back and chatted with them that we didn't catch any any turtles, and we fired off and talked by the front door. Wayne used to sit out here in the garage and he'd like wave at everybody as they go by. So next thing you know, believe it or not, I like talking, and Wayne and I ended up chatting for 3 hours or better, and kind of became a thing that if I saw him, I'd stop and chat with him. He's a character to talk to. And then later on, after I graduated college, I moved into a camper that was plugged into the grain bins, which the grain bins are the ones that are located directly across, or it was just a grain bin at that point in time, that were located directly across from Wayne's here. And I rolled in, had the camper, and I came over one day and I said, hey, we're gonna be neighbors. I said, hey, we're gonna be neighbors. I'm gonna live in a camper all this summer, you know, for a while. And it's those grain bins over there. So needless to say, it was a pretty good summer together, I guess. I distinctly remember he came over and gifted me his old tank to pump the crap out of my camper, but I outsmarted him because I rented a porta potty. So anyways, so Wayne used to hay a lot of hay all this here, and he'd hay with a couple of neighbors, Jim, who you see in the other video, and another neighbor that's passed, Art. They'd hay, and I was just fascinated with hay, just fascinated with it. You know, like, we didn't do it, so the idea of being able to mow something on Monday and by like Wednesday you've got something that you could sell, you know, that to me was like cool, like to do that, and the way the grass would look and being able to clean something up. I just really liked the process of it, or I thought I'd like the process of it. I did. And so I came over, and I do remember where that was. He was right here actually hanging out, getting ready to stab bales. And I asked, hey, you know, can I help you stab bales? You know, I'd like to learn this or whatever. And Wayne, something that we're gonna talk about here, but is nobody could outwork Wayne. There's nobody that can outwork Wayne. And he's like, no, I got it. Well, that was the summer before I moved in the camper. My time's gonna get screwed up on us here. And yeah, so then one day he shows up, comes on over when I got the camper or whatever, and he just strolls over in his RTV and looks at me and goes, I want to hay with you this year, you know? He's like, I want to hay with you. And I was like, are you serious? You know, yeah, he's like, I want to hay my farm with you on shares, 50-50. And I was like, okay, I can do that. Well, I went and I probably told this in the videos, and so I went and bought myself a Gale mower. Oh man, I scrapped up $1,100 or something like that to buy this absolute piece of junk that was worn out and sloppy. So I go and I pull it in across the road, and Wayne must have been sitting out, but I mean, I hadn't even got unhooked, and he shows up and he goes, what'd you buy that piece of shit for? Like, you know, he like looked at it, he's like, what are you doing? He goes, no, he's like, nope, like, you used my mower. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, we can do that. He's like, you don't want to use a sickle mower. I barely scrapped up $1,100, like that. I was using the sickle mower, if that makes sense. So anyways, the first time I hayed, just to go show that nobody can outwork Wayne, I called him. I was bringing over a tractor, and I show up, and he's got a tractor hooked up to the mower, greased up, fueled up, ready to go mowing. And then he just turns me loose and lets me go. Over the next couple of years, Wayne pretty much becomes my right-hand man. I mean, bailed me out of like where I'd bite off more than I could chew, go mow more hay than I could bale, you know, need help breaking, need help, like rain's coming, and he'd be there every single time. You know, he'd like, if he knew we were gonna go baling, if I showed up here at 6 o'clock in the morning, he'd already have the rake hooked up, greased, ready to go. I mean, like I said, nobody could outwork Wayne Brockman. Like, people would always joke, say it's a get her done, you know. That's the way he was. Yeah, he did that, and he never asked me for anything. Like, never asked me for, like, to pay him, do anything like that. And here he is letting me use his equipment. You know, he's, like I said, the reason I was able to start farming, really, and help me out. And yeah, so then Wayne, story continued on. Wayne gave me the chance to buy this farm. We're taking a stroll around. He didn't, only give me a chance once. He gave me a chance 3 times, because it took 3 times for him to finally, convince me to actually try and buy this farm. He'd always say, I want you to buy the farm, and I'm like, I got no money. I mean, I've got no money, Wayne. I can't buy your farm. I got no money. And so then I think it was about this time of year. I can't remember exactly when it was, but I'm pretty sure the crop was out. He goes, hey, and he got serious about it. He's like, I want you to buy my farm. I need you to go and talk to your banker about it. Well, I think that was the year or the year after, close to that, we decided to put beans on the farm because the hay market was crappy. You get $30 or $35 for a round bale of hay, and wasn't yielding the best. So we're like, we'll put beans on there, and we grew 74 bushel beans my first year. Made a little bit of money. Actually managed to have $1 in my pocket. I was putting up a lot of small square bales, that type of stuff. So he's like, go talk to your banker and see what you can get done. Well, and like I said, I do remember the day that we had that conversation, because there used to be a fence actually right here along this property line, which is a button S70 here north of Plano. Used to be a fence all the way down this property line this way, and then at the front of my show plot that way used to be a fence. And that same day, Wayne whacked me with the T-post. Pulled it up out of the ground. Luckily, I had my phone in my chest pocket right here, and I wasn't YouTubing at this time, and smacked me with a T-post right on my phone. Shattered my phone. Got lucky. He about skewered me, you know, giving me the opportunity to buy a farm and skewers me with a T-post on the same day, you know, that type of thing, if that's not a subject of a relationship. So yeah, gave me a place to put my roots in, you know, gave me a place to do that, that he didn't have to do, you know, he didn't have to do any of that stuff, you know. Like I said, Wayne, people think he's a grandpa of mine. He's just the neighbor that brought me, you know, a shit tank one day. And so over the next year, Wayne had some health complications, and it kind of turned around a little bit in our relationship. Wayne wasn't able to drive anymore at that point in time, and so here we are, and I guess the shoe was kind of on the other foot. So over the last 6 years, Wayne and I's relationship got a lot better, Wayne's and I's relationship got a lot closer together, a lot, you know. He leaned on me, you know, our relationship got a lot closer. He leaned on me pretty heavily over the last 6 years, and I leaned on him pretty heavily too, because there's absolutely no way I'd be able to mow all this grass without him. But needless to say, Wayne and I, over those 6 years, became family. Wayne was a man that I was able to hold myself accountable to. He was my first phone call in the morning, 7 a.m., 6 a.m., whenever he thought I felt like I should be woken up, depending on how busy my day was supposed to be. And I had to have a plan every day for the last 6-ish years about what I was going to do that day, and how I was going to do it. That was my 7 a.m. phone call. Then it was a phone call at noon if we weren't going out to lunch together or doing something along those lines, to figure out how far I was getting along. And then usually I would see him about every day, but then at 9 o'clock I'd get a phone call, and I'd have to tell him what I did and what I think I might be able to do the next day. And that's what we're gonna miss. And that's what's gonna take me a little while to get back used to. Probably won't ever get fully used to it, but I'm happy for Wayne. Wayne's faith was extremely strong. I do believe that his body is healed. I do believe that he is back to work, doing something, you know. Don't know if he's railroading or farming, you know, but he's working. But that's the news. I'm extremely blessed to have had somebody like Wayne in my life. Molly and I lovingly jokingly called him our 80-year-old teenager, you know. He brought a lot of joy to my life over the last 10 years. But it was time for him to go, and he didn't like being late, so. Yeah. Things will win that one. So the next video will be out before too long because yeah, he enjoyed it. Thanks for hanging out with us. I'll see you guys in the next one.